Hello and welcome to Vertex Abundance. My name is Priestess Gorgeous. I'll be your oracle today, and I'm bringing you the 11/11 Divine Lover series for January 2018. The new moon in January was on the 16th, so that was the Capricorn new moon. I'll be going mostly over the feminine energies this month. Next month, I'll be covering the masculine, just like I did last month. We alternate month to month, okay? Every other month to every other month, okay? So masculine's every other month, feminine's every other month. That's how it goes. Get in where you fit in. Let's keep it moving, all right? Now, there's going to be some shifts. I'll make a formal announcement, but there's going to be the rest of the guidance on the website. Okay, so I'm going to cover the energies here, and then I'm going to take the expanded reading onto a different section of the website. Understand it's for members only, and if you're confused, understand that the comment section is not where to gain clarity for that. It's for adjusting or affirming feedback. And understand before you give said feedback, this is a free service, okay? So the website is the non-free service, and I can't be going into the energies that I go into for the public. If I'm gonna pull the veil back, you really need to come into the inner circle. And let's just get started here. We'll talk about that another time. So over here is the masculine energy, over here is the feminine energy, closer to the right. And on the masculine side, we have the Ace of Wands, and that's in the evolving situation. We come into the month, well, I'll say this at the end. Let me go ahead and get this energy out here. That's always what I need to do. Just get the cards out first and then come back around with the rest of it. Okay, so we got the wand. So on the feminine side, and remember, feminine is more of the role. It's more of, which of the two snakes are you? Are you the feminine snake or are you the masculine snake? So just because you were born into a female body or born into a male body doesn't necessarily or necessitate that you fulfill that role. So regardless of your anatomy, regardless of your gender sign at birth, you may be embodying the other role, especially for a divine partnership. Very much so according with the ebb and the flow of the universe, especially during certain cycles, not so much month to month, quarter to quarter, year to year, but more 18 month to 18 month, we begin to kind of embody the other side. So sometimes you'll notice that you're a man, born as a man, and you're really honoring and fulfilling the masculine role, and then you might notice that a year or two later, for a couple of months, you're going to be embodying the feminine. And so the feminine role, just understand it's receptive, it's transformative, it takes energy and it responds and transforms it to its higher octave, versus the masculine archetype, the masculine role, which is something more to go out and bring back, to be the intent to seek. Okay, so one finds meaning and the other seeks meaning. Okay, and it might sound similar, but I guarantee it's quite different. So I'm going to be giving some content on that at another time. I'll be speaking greatly this year about the masculine and the feminine, and I myself am two spirits, so I embody both. Again, we'll talk about that at another time. So on the feminine side, we have in the energy we enter the month in, we have the Queen of Cups. I'm using the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot by Louis Martini and Sally Glassman. We have the Queen of Cups in what we enter the month in, and the obstacle, the challenge, the conflict is the Star card, Zetoile. Let me show you the other card, the Queen of Cups. Mambo Congo, okay, Congo Mambo. And then we have in the focus position, we have Pedro Laplace, as I would say. That is the Knight of Wands. And we also have in the sacrifice to be made, we have the fourth major arcana. Here it's Loco. We would know that commonly as Le Imperatore, the Emperor. And we have in the evolving situation, what we enter next month into next month, we have Santeria 6, Elegua. So that would be the 6 of Pentacles. And on the masculine side, we have Congo 9, Madame la Lune. So that is the 9 of Cups. Then that's the energy we enter the month in for the masculine. Now, the conflict, challenge, obstacle is Rada 3, Gede. So that is the 3 of Swords. And then we have in the Focus position for the masculine, we have Santeria 9. That's Yemaya. Okay. So that would be the 9 of Pentacles. So 2 9s. And then in the sacrifice to make, basically the linchpin to get out of the energy. For the masculine, we have Congo 10, Grand Bois. Okay, that's an ancestor card. 10 of Cups. And then in the evolving situation, the energy we enter into next month with, we have Petro number 1, that's the Ace of Wands. Here it's Dambala la Flambeau. I as a Badoon don't use that word Dambala, so I'll say that the first and last time this year. So it's the serpent spirits, the rainbow spirits. Okay. And then in the combined energy for both the masculine and the feminine, we have the Petro 4, Ague la Flambeau. Again, we pronounce it a little different, but let's get it going here. So, clearly we're entering the month in here with the feminine empowered, embodied, and it seems like her consciousness, her ability to connect to the soul group, wants something to come to fruition. And it does happen, but it embodies itself in the twin. It embodies herself in the connection. Her wishes, thoughts, hopes, dreams embody themselves in the other person, in the person she's connected to. And that's great. You're entering the month in with something fulfilled. Now, someone has attained consciousness, and to be honest, it's both parties. But as you can see, the sacrifice is to go on the path in which you need to go on, to be who you need to be. The Zetoile, the star card, in the conflict, challenge, obstacle position for the feminine means that the difficulty here derives from the fact, the realization that you really need to be you need to be true to you, and you need to do your thing. You need to be in alignment with yourself first and foremost. And the love that you have to give, especially with the Queen of Cups, that's someone who's in love, someone who is devout, someone who is devoted. Same thing. Typically someone who's deeply connected emotionally, psychically, astral body wise, or just connected to another person, or the soul group itself. Water also talks about the soul group. So, you got to have more love for yourself than for the other person, and you have to love yourself first before you can love the other person. And that's the conflict for her, going on the path, being who you were born to be, materializing here in the physical with that Zetoile, the world egg. Whoop, that was a mic drop from Spirit, Great Spirit. And, mirrored back from the masculine is kind of like, that's a rude awakening. So loving the self brings up pain, brings up wounding for the masculine. That is challenging. And remember, as I say masculine, for most of you, it is going to be men assigned at birth, but not everybody. Not every male assigned at birth is embodying the masculine archetype, okay? And it doesn't mean about gay or straight. It can be beyond that. Even in a heterosexual couple, a heteronormative couple, I would say, there will be times when the male embodies the feminine role, okay? It's an archetype. So the archetype of masculinity is to go out. It's to use the inertive energy, okay? Put it this way, the male supports and the female stabilizes. That's really what it is. So the energy, the direction, the drive is going to come from the masculine energies, and the female energies is going to put that to a higher octave. It's going to take that energy and meditate in the invisible sectors, the invisible parts of the universe, to materialize and manifest, okay? And if that doesn't make sense, it's okay. It doesn't need to right now. So the masculine energy here is coming to the realization like, wow, here's somebody that is only going to mess with me, is only going to engage with me if I come correct. And it's not the egotistical bougie come correct. Yes, sometimes it is. But here it's actually saying, okay, this person is going to love herself and do herself at the expense of herself, meaning she can't love me until she's able to love herself. And if I do anything that takes away from the love that she has for herself, we're going to be out of alignment. We're not going to be able to mesh well. Now, moving into the focus here, the female is focused on opening up the gates for passion, opening up the gates for progress, opening up the gates for life to move. And I do see that as we leave this month and go into the next month, the masculine will come into that realization, and they may even notice, well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Now, on the masculine side, they're finally feeling the need to heal or the ability to heal, and they're finally finding that the universe is providing something for them. I don't want to say the floodgates have opened, but I want to say the love of the mother has manifested for them, meaning whatever they're earnestly willing to engage with on the soul, they'll find that the universe is fully aligned to help them with that. Okay? So when you have a burning desire, you'll notice that the universe rises up to help you when you're clear in your intent and you're clear in your burning desire. You know, if the how is big enough, if the why is big enough, the how doesn't matter. It's what I want to say there. And this card tells me about that often. I pardon if it's not bright enough, and my nails ain't that great right now. I've been out of alignment for a while. So now we're moving into this sacrifice to be made, and that's always what you need to clear up in order to continue moving on. So, you know, females don't do local work often. But it seems like they need to understand the multidimensionality, the feminine here. They need to understand the multidimensionality of this connection and of themselves. We have the 11th house and the 10th house here. So, and the 4th house and the 1st house. So that means they need to know who they are and what's alive in them before they're really able to embark on being able to provide and commit to the connection, to the intimacy of the other person. And I'm seeing passionate and emotional intimacy. So physical and emotional intimacy, for those who know what that means, to those that applies to, great. Now, understand for January, the obstacle for the masculine is dealing with the fact that the love is already there and that the issue has been the masculine. Now, the sacrifice to make is understanding that this connection exists in the spiritual, and it's the behavior is about honoring those spiritual aspects of the connection here in the physical. Hope that's not too confusing, but honoring the spiritual aspects of this connection here in the physical. And remember what I said, for the feminine, she's mirroring that with all this multidimensionality, okay? The multidimensionality of the connection here. So it exists in the heavens, it exists here on earth. It's already built up in another realm, and now you're bringing it here into the physical. And like I said, you remember the feminine had this, okay, I'm opening up the crossroads, I'm doing that ritual here. And so now here's the ace and here's the knight. The knight is the one who's able to carry the energy, open up the gate, do the messengers. This is the ace. The ace is the actual opportunity, and it's the evolving energy, so it's moving into next month. Also, it's her belief. She believes that, or the feminine, they believe that there is some opportunity, there is some ability to move this forward. Now here in the third dimension, the actual energy, the source of the energy, is that passion itself, okay? Now, mirrored on the feminine side, that was the masculine. The feminine is saying, well, if you make an honest, earnest effort, I'll open up the door just a little bit, and if you can come correct, and again, not in a bougie, egotistical way, not in the excuse me, I just bumped the mic there, not in the Jerry Springer get a black girl way with the popping off at the neck and the chicken neck and all that, none of that. It's just like, listen, homie, if you can come correct, if you can understand that I've been emotionally invested and I've been emotionally let down too many times, I'm willing to mess with you once or twice more, and I'm also willing to understand that most of me being hung out on a limb was my own wounding and my own need to heal. So I'm not going to hold you responsible for what has happened, but I'm going to hold you accountable for what happens going forward. I realize where I played a part, and I can clearly discern your part and my part now moving forward. So I'm going to read this in a different way. This is the it really looks like this. She's opening up the door for that passion to come in, but he's going to need to come correct, okay? And I mean that in a very there's protocol here, and the protocol is open up your heart, open up your mind, speak what your drive, desires, passions are, do your healing, do your work. Okay, understand who you are and what's alive in you. And I can see 2 9s here on the masculine, so that means that he needed to spend, or they needed to spend a little bit of time alone. And there's a progression. There's a 3 moving into a 4 here. And this 4 and this, and you know, the 4 of Wands is the 11-11 card. The Pecho 4, Aguila Flambeau, that's the 4 of Wands. So that is the, you're my bridge over troubled waters. That's really what it is. So the conflicts, the challenges, the upheavals, the dissolutions, the breakdowns, the breaks-ups, the anguish, that was all necessary. 2 9s mean one person needing to spend some time apart. We also have 2 4s. We have a master alpha 4, or a master, alpha 4, and we have the 4 of fire. So that means the seed has been planted to come into a good foundation here. Now, in the 3rd dimension, we have the opportunity here coming back around and opening up. It seems like now there's a good blessing from Spirit. Now, 4th dimension-wise, especially the emotional resonance, okay? The desires, especially, are that of, well, the feminine's doing a lot better. The feminine has said for them that, listen, this needs to be in a place that I'm not going to lose my foundation. I'm not going to lose my stability. I'm not going to lose my autonomy, franchise, and control. And yes, I will compromise my behavior, homeboy, but I'm not going to compromise myself to contribute to this. I will contribute to the extent in which it is no longer an expense. It must be an investment. If I feel like I'm investing in us, yeah, I'll make some changes around to me and my side of the show here. But I'm not going to come to you 100%. You need to, at the very least, meet me halfway. And the masculine is able to do that. The masculine has done the healing and has had the spiritual recognition that they're already emotionally bonded. There's already a deep bond that they're living in, even if it's not in the physical, even if it's not happening. There's already a deep bond for them. Now, the belief is that the feminine knows exactly what needs to happen for this to come through. And the masculine has finally found their own stability in this connection. So the masculine found their own, 9 of Pentacles means you're secure in the self. And so that's what the masculine is built here, being secure in the self. Now they can go ahead and drive this forward, because I feel before they were confused, they were hesitant, they were out of alignment. They were taking all of their thought forms and finding excuses instead of making results. And now they don't have a lot to be afraid of. Even if they are afraid, I think they feel safe and secure enough to make a move, okay, to make some changes. And, in terms of the archetype here, the seed to be planted, the spiritual seed to be planted, what would be manifest, the coding used for this program here, the connection. On the masculine side, they need to come around to the fact that there's changes. Things have happened. And they need to accept that. There are skeletons in the closet. And whether or not they're addressed, they need to stop being affected by those, is really what it is. Because the feminine is that they incarnated here to heal and to come into some realization. And see, with this energy entering the month, that's what's going to happen for her. She can take everything that's happened to her and manifest from that. And so, moving into the heavenly connection, the oversoul, the monadic soul cluster here, they are of the same soul group, number 1, and number 2, they've come to completion. Now they can choose to graduate to find wholeness here, or they could go on to another phase. It's really up to them. So I'm going to continue this reading. The link to that should be in the show notes. Please take good care of yourself, and I will see you next month for the 11/11 Divine Lover series. We'll be going through the Aquarius energies, which will be the masculine. And take good care of yourself, okay? Again, check the show notes and continue from there. I will expand this with some guidance. Bye-bye.